Beautiful day. I love the woods in the fall. Gonna get down to 30s tonight. I love it. Every other day, someone will say to me that I should have my own TV show. I should be on the reality shows. So I want to take a moment this morning while I'm out walking to tell you why I decided not to sell my soul to the networks. About 3 or 4 years ago, I got my first TV offer. I was really excited at the time. And after several conversations with the network, I went on YouTube and I watched 3 episodes of The Mountain Men. The first episode, I see a mountain man throwing a hissy fit because he had some kid sight in his rifle for him, and then he went hunting with it and gut shot a deer, and now he's blaming the kid for doing a poor job of sighting in his rifle. I don't know any sportsman that would have somebody else sight in their guns for them and then not even do a couple of test shots. I know nobody's going to put their hands on my bow and start messing with the sights. Don't even touch it. So he's out in the woods looking for this deer, blaming the kid, going on, and the network is going, oh, if he doesn't find this deer, he won't have anything to eat. Oh! Then on the next episode, there's this guy out in Alaska, way out in the bush, in the snow machine breaks down. He's walking several miles back to his cabin, doesn't have a firearm, and you hear, oh, right? You keep hearing that. No firearm, going, oh my God, am I thirsty? Am I thirsty? Doesn't have any water. Can't melt any snow, I guess, and drink a little water if you need it. But he's a mountain man. And the whole time, the network is going on with the drama, too, you know. You keep hearing, oh, he's out there, no gun, oh, and that ain't Warren Zevon, oh, right? It ain't a wolf either, it's just a soundtrack. And then on the third episode, there was some trapper guy, wanders too far from his house, everybody's worried for him, and the network's going, oh, if he doesn't catch this otter, he won't have anything to eat. Like any mountain man doesn't have a food cache just stockpiled for the winter, but instead he's out there trying to catch a fishy old otter for food. Come on. Now, I'm not saying this to belittle these 3 guys, because I'm certain, without a doubt, that these guys all know their stuff. They're probably very knowledgeable, probably the type of person I could hang out with. It's the network taking everything that they filmed and twisting it around to throw the drama for all the couch sitters watching the episodes. And I know that they will do that with me. They're going to do all that crap, twist everything around. They're going to have episodes where they have Frankie run away, and I'm like, Frankie, don't go, right? Yeah, screw that. I called him up and I said I don't want anything to do with it. That was a good move. Then I got my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th TV offer, and somewhere around the 12th TV offer, it was for a network that my dad used to really enjoy. He used to watch PBS and Nova and National Geographic and Animal Planet and all those cool shows. So when I had the opportunity to go on TV with the network that he really liked, I'm not supposed to say the network, so I won't, I thought, how cool would that be, right? To maybe be in the afterlife, if I could really reconnect with my dad and go, Dad, how did you like that? I put your camp on TV, blah, blah, blah. That would be really cool. And the money that they were offering was more money than I ever dreamed. Then the universe kicks in. Call it fate, call it the universe, call it your guardian angel, call it God. Label it however you want, wherever your beliefs are. But I've learned over the years to follow my intuition, all right? Call them gut feelings. Call them whatever you want. So here it was, I was considering doing this. We were almost to the point where they were going to fly out here and we were going to come here to New Hampshire and film at the New York cabin and kind of get the ball rolling. And I had a knock on the door. It was just somebody that saw me on YouTube. But I'm just a small guy on YouTube. And I was much smaller then. Driving around, reading posted signs until he found my name on one and knocked on my door. I had another one the same day, 2 in one day. And I was like, can you imagine the change in my life if I was on national television? Never mind YouTube, okay? And I had 4 or 5 situations like that. I was in town, I was at a show. Luckily, all the people that I did meet were really cool. I'd drink a beer with them any day of the week. They were great people. I just don't like people knocking on my door. And I started doing some soul searching and thinking about how this would impact my life. First of all, they're going to own me for 2 years. They're going to own me for 2 years. My freedom's going to be gone. I got to do what they say, film what they say. I have no say over it. They're going to twist everything around, put all kinds of drama into it. And that is going to stress me out. Being answering to someone's going to stress me out. I just go, forget about it. I did some soul searching. I backed out of it. And the money would have been great, but at what cost? And the cost would have probably ruined my life, because even after 2 years, it might be 10 years down the road, they could be airing these episodes, and I will never have life back to how it is now. And how it is now is how I have worked for so long to get here to. So I quit. I go, nope, I'm not going to do it. And that was the best move I have ever made. Most of my subscribers already know that I use birch bark to start my fires. But a lot of people write to me from different parts of the country where they don't have birch. They have a hard time lighting fires using paper because the paper nowadays doesn't burn like it did in the old days. So they asked me for an alternative fire starter. Well, I'll show you something very, very simple, works fantastic, and it works in all weather. I just take some cotton balls, I tear them in half, and I roll them around in Vaseline, and I just store them in this little container. This is an old 35mm film container. So this goes to show how long I've been using this. This comes from my hunting pack. Take one out, stick it on a stick, light it with a match. It's going to burn for a long time. And even wet tinder, go get some sticks and stuff out in the pouring rain, this will burn long enough to ignite them. I'll give a little demonstration. You stick that into some tinder, it's going to work pretty well to get that fire started for you. Just going to let it burn for a little bit here. If you don't have birch bark handy, something like this will get your fire started. I used one match. See? Pretty handy little fire starter. Cotton ball and some Vaseline. A flame like that will ignite even wet tinder. If you don't have birch bark handy, you don't have some in your area, you don't have time to go look for some, and you need a fire, pretty cheap and effective solution right there. Yep. There you go. Well, a good Sunday morning to you all. Time for the questions of the week. Are you ever going to install a water heater or a well pump at the cabin? I have no intentions of ever installing a water heater. We heat the water on the propane or on the wood stove. That works just fine, simple and cheap. As far as a well, I don't have any intentions in the near future of pumping the water from the well. I've already talked about that before. But later down the road, if I ever drill a well here, have a well put in, then of course I will plumb it up to the house. Okay? Because that would be a drilled well or one of the pounded ones, you know. And of course I would have it connected to the cabin. But I really don't foresee that happening. I like living the way that I'm living. And that's why I live this way. Next question. Do you have to pay a fee to use the dump or the dump mall? That's what I love about New Hampshire. No. All the dump fees are covered from the property taxes that we pay. And that's fantastic. If you bring a large amount of construction debris, I think it's anything under 100 pounds is absolutely free. You don't have to pay to drop off tires or batteries or anything like that. But over 100 pounds, you have to pay per ton or something like that. That's what I couldn't stand or understand about New York, the way it's run out there. We had to pay for everything we brought to the dump. If you brought car batteries, if you brought tires, we even had to pay for recyclables that you brought to the dump. And that is the reason why people out there threw it all over the roads. It was very saddening to any dirt road that you take, or like the roads to go through the state forest. People go in there and they dump truckload after truckload after truckload of construction debris. I've even had it dumped on my property several times. People just threw trash so they didn't have to pay for it. I'm blaming the state for that from the way that it's run. But thankfully here, it's not that way. Okay, next question is, can I recommend a good flashlight? Not really. Most of the flashlights you get nowadays are cheap junk. They seem great at first, but if you're an off-gridder and you use a flashlight a lot, the switches wear out and the flashlight's no good within like a year. And I am not going to spend $40 or $50 for a flashlight. About a decade ago, I bought these two flashlights at Walmart. They're Brinkmans, all metal design. They still work flawlessly. The switches are in the back so they don't get turned on accidentally. Fantastic flashlights. I can't find these anymore. And whether or not Brinkman maintained their quality throughout the years, I have no idea. These were fantastic flashlights, especially this little guy. It takes one AAA battery. Works flawlessly. I could tuck it right up inside my hat and use it as a headlight. They were just fantastic, but I can't find them in the stores anymore. These little Energizer pen lights, you've seen these in my video a few times. These are fantastic. I'll put a link down below to these. I'm also going to put a link to a flashlight not to buy. That's if I can find it online. Okay. But these little Energizer flashlights, they only cost around, I don't know, $6. And they come with 2 AAA batteries. So it's pretty decent. And they're great. We have them all over the place. And they're bright enough to track a deer with. Now this one here, okay, I thought this was a pretty good flashlight when I saw it. All metal design. It's defiant. Don't buy this flashlight. Whoever designed this flashlight must have been a city boy that rarely ever uses a flashlight. It's got the button right on the top, and it's very sensitive. 9 times out of 10, you go to get this flashlight, whether you kept it in a junk drawer or a pack, and it already used up all the batteries because it turned on accidentally. But what it really ticks me off is when you want to turn it off, you got to go through this sequence. Who uses this stuff? Okay? Absolute maddening. Like I said, most of the times I go to get the flashlight, it's dead because it went on accidentally. The switch needs to be in the back, just like this. Totally madness. And it comes in a 2-pack, so it can be twice as useless. Jeepers. Now, Harbor Freight does have quite a few LED lights that work really good, but after a few years, the switches wear out. That's been my experience so far. Okay, one more question. I posted about the Chaga, okay? And I know that over the years, I've been through the ringer, okay? I've had my health issues, been near dead a few times, had lots of problems, but I'm still here, man, and I'm still ticking, and I'm up living on the mountain, and I'm still going. But I know that I look like death warmed over sometime, but it is what it is, okay? So someone asked, can I show examples of healthy people drinking Chaga? That's a new one. So, okay, let's see if we can find some examples of healthy people drinking Chaga. Let's see. Google Images. We ought to find something interesting there. See? Healthy people drinking Chaga. Oh! Oh! Better put the safe search on. Oh, there's Hillary. She's chugging up some Chaga. And he's pooting on a pot. Oh, looks like you can mix whatever you want with your Chaga there. You might have had a little too much. And there's Bill Clinton. Well, I don't know if that could actually be considered drinking Chaga. I'm cracking myself up. Well, like I said in the Chaga video, if you're skeptical, don't take my advice. Just Google it, do a little research, and if you want to try it, a simple way is to order up a pack of tea bags, give it a go, and if you like it, go find a dying birch tree somewhere and harvest it. It won't cost you a cent. Give it a try. Don't take my advice, you know, but that's what I said in the first video. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We will see you next Sunday. And all the best to you, and God bless. Yeah, chuggity, chuggity,
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.